In troubled times like these, we must, pray for our children. We must pray for the children of the world. We are all children of God, but the little ones of the world, we must pray for them so that they are covered in God's glory and that they're covered in God's righteousness, because they are going after the children, right? You see it with all the child pornography stuff, the cases in which people have been found with child pornography. You see it in the cases of child rape, right? They're going after the children. Children are their primary target. Why? Because children are impressionable. You can leave a mark on a child for good or for bad. And because they are impressionable, guess what you can do with children? You can sit there and teach them this, that, and the third. And they will believe that this is right, and that this is right, and that is right, and that this is right, and that is right, when it is not. You can make your mark on a child, as I just said. And they are trying to do that. They try to teach them all these things, right? Whether it be transgenderism, homosexuality, or even just basic things like this is good and that's good, when it is obviously not, right? It's not good to be evil. It's not good to mock, insult, ridicule. It's not good to put others down, right? And that's what they're teaching kids. They're teaching kids to just do whatever you want to do, as if they're the adults, right? And that's why I see a lot of kids, they act that way. They act that way in which it's almost like they're the parent and the parent's the child, because the parent has become submissive to the child. The adults in this country have become submissive to the children of this country. The children can act any which way they would like, and they usually get all their demands met. Why? Because the government, the schooling system, coupled in with parenting itself, has led them to operate in that manner. They've taught them these things. They haven't taught them in righteousness. That's why God tells you to raise your children righteously. It is imperative. You must raise your children in a righteous manner, because if you do not, then they become a bunch of delinquents, right? And you don't want that. A bunch of degenerates, and you do not want that. But you must also protect them in the sense that you must protect them as best as you can when it comes to sexual behaviors. Teaching kids sex makes no sense, right? Violating children is a disgusting thing. It's a disgusting thing. It's a vile thing. And these people that violate them, may God bless you, so that you may realize the error of your ways, because they do not realize it. That's the reason why they do it. And to us, it's obvious and simple. It's just like, yeah, it's just disgusting. How did they not see it? We just don't understand. We do not understand what's going on in their heart, their minds, their souls. That's why we must do what we must pray for them. We must pray. At the end of the day, we must pray for these adults that inflict these pains and horrific moments and scars that might be there for a lifetime in many of these children, because they do not understand. But to do this to a child is disgusting. It's sad. It's deplorable. It's vile. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things you just ask yourself, why? Evil. That's your reason why. Right? And we must pray for these children so that they do not fall under these evils. They're not victim to these evils, because it's not a sight to behold. It's a horrific sight. It's one that you look at with the complete disgust. You might even shed some tears knowing that some of these kids are subject to child rape and child pornography being filmed, them being filmed in, being raped, right? They film the raping of them and they just post it on the internet, or they sell it on the dark web so they can make a profit off of it. And these sites, these pornographic sites, they know this. They receive some of these stuff. They know it, and they make money off of it because they don't care. It's what happens when you live in a lawless country. It's what happens when you live in a lawless world. Shame doesn't exist. They don't care. Why would they? Why would they? They're making money off of it. It's the reason why it is written in the Bible, money is the root of all evil. Because it is. You tolerate any evil so long as you're making money off of it. The root cause of why any evil permeates itself throughout the entirety of the world is because of the money you can make off of it. You can profit off of it. And so we must pray for these children. We really must. It is imperative we do. So that they're guarded by God. That He protects them. That He watches over them. That He sends His angels to watch over them. Because they are under attack. Because the adults, a growing number of adults, especially, it's not just adults. It's adults in authoritative positions. The ones that they wish they could trust. The ones that they should be able to trust. You'd like to believe that you can trust somebody in an authoritative position, can you not? A teacher, a counselor, a principal, a police officer, a firefighter, right? A lawyer, whatever the case may be in terms of authoritative positioning. You'd like to think that you can trust those people. But some of these children found out the hard way, sadly. that you can't even trust people in authoritative position. You can't even trust them. Can't trust the authorities because even they like to abuse their power and get what it is that they so dearly crave out of that child. And also, not to mention, right, before I, fail to mention, that pastors do this too. Something we don't like to talk about in the church. But there are pastors that are in on this too. I mean, we know the Catholic Church and the scandal, right, of all these people, all these children that got violated by all these fathers and bishops and all that stuff. We know that incident. And there are many, many more like that. And there are going to be, unfortunately, many, many more like that. Because you think you could trust your church elders. No. Even they prey on children. Even they do that. That does not mean that God is evil. It just means that they are evil. It proves what God says in Genesis 6. From youth, man's heart is set on evil. And those people, they operate in evil. They operate in iniquity that does not reflect God. Do not conflate the two things. God is righteous. Despite them doing what they do, God remains righteous. You better believe he will pay them according to what they did. They will have to pay for it. But nonetheless, all in all, pray for our children so that they may be guarded by God's grace and glory, and his angels will walk with them, protecting them from the wrath that Satan has for them through adults in their lives.